Good evening, Erev Tov. So that was a simple greeting, Erev Tov. There are many simple greetings in Judaism. There's always a greeting, Shabbat Shalom, Shavua Tov, Revach, Shana Tova. So on different occasions, we have different greetings. I want to talk about the greeting that we offer on Rosh Hashanah. It's actually not a simple greeting. It's very long. I counted the words. There's 7 words. Okay, sometimes it can get confusing. Someone comes up to you and they'll say, L'shana tova tikatev tikatem la'altar l'chaim tovim l'shalom. Right? So do people have that memorized? Some of you do, but there's a lot of words here. So I just want to talk about like how we got to so many words, because it wasn't always like that. And what is it? Why do we have so many words? That's kind of what I want to talk about. So just to start out, a basic, how do people greet each other in Rosh Hashanah? A basic greeting is Shana tova umetuka, right? A good and a sweet year. So people explain we want a good year, but we also want it to be enjoyable. And in time of COVID, you could say we want a healthy year and also an enjoyable year. I mean, if we stay healthy, but it might be hard. We want it to be enjoyable as well. So you can have that in mind. Now, this other blessing, sometimes you say people will write on their letters during this time at the end of emails, Lishana Tova, right? That's a short version of Lishana for a good year. Lishana for a good year. You should be written and inscribed immediately for a good life and for peace. That's the full version of it. So this language of immediately for a good life and for peace wasn't always part of this greeting. It was just until recently that was added on. In a time of the Ramah, it started like already in the medieval period, people were greeting each other with this greeting. L'shana tova tikatev. You should be written in. Now, they added on later on, you should not only be written, but inscribed. Tikatev v'tichatem. And for women, it's tikatvi v'tichatmi. Tikatemi. Tikatevi v'tichatemi. See, I even it's hard to remember all these things. But because the reason why they added on that part, which you should be not just written and inscribed, because we want to assume that everybody's righteous. Okay? That those who are not righteous, fully righteous, so they're still waiting to be sealed. They're inscribed, but they're still waiting to be sealed in the book of life. But those who are completely righteous, they're immediately sealed in the book of life. So we bless them not only to be written, inscribed, but also to be sealed. So that's why we do that. And later on, other blessings were added immediately, because the righteous people are inscribed and sealed immediately. And then what kind of quality of that life? For good life and for peace. So that's how we got to this whole blessing, from just basically to be written to the book of life, to inscribe, to be sealed immediately for good life and for peace. So that's some of like the history of that. But why do we do this on Rosh Hashanah? Why do we add so many words? We don't always have so many words in these types of greetings. We do a lot of things on Rosh Hashanah that are extra. Some people don't sleep on Rosh Hashanah because they want to make sure that they don't sleep the whole year. People will be careful not to mention certain things, not to mention sin on Rosh Hashanah. People are extra careful with a lot of things on Rosh Hashanah, and this is what also with the blessings we make over fruits. We bless over multiple fruits, and so we want to have a good sign and good omens for the upcoming year. So this is another one, and I think there are different explanations for this, but I think the reason why we put so much emphasis on this, one is because it's the Day of Judgment, but I think more than that, there's a basic understanding that Rosh Hashanah has a lot of power. It has a lot of power. This day can influence days to come. So I'm going to try to infuse it with positive energy in every direction. When you see somebody, bless them, not just with 2 words, with 7 words. When you're at your meals, make blessings over the food. When you're doing Rosh Hashanah, pray with extra kanah. Don't sleep. Try to do as many good things as you can on Rosh Hashanah, because that day can add energy and infuse the upcoming year with positive things. So I think that's why we do, and that's something to think about during Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is a day to be, afraid, to accept God, to know we're in God's judgment, but it's also a day to know that we can influence the upcoming year through that day. Try to do as many good things as you can, be on your best behavior, and try to be as kind to each other as we can, so we can insert that positive energy into the upcoming year.